Hi there, you're listening to the Bigfoot Society podcast, and I'm Jeremiah Byron. Every week I talk to individuals who have experienced Sasquatch in some way or another, so you won't want to miss an episode. Make sure you're subscribed on the platform that you're listening to, and share this episode with a friend. It does not cost a thing, and it helps the show continue to grow. If you'd like to hear Bigfoot Society episodes early and ad-free, you can do so by becoming a Patreon supporter or a YouTube channel member. Links to those are in the show notes. And Bigfoot Society, I've taken far too much of your time so far, so let's get on with the show. All right, Bigfoot Society, I've got the privilege of talking to a gentleman who contacted me over the internet. His name is John, and he has a very interesting encounter story. I think we're just going to let him kind of unveil that because it sounds very interesting. But John, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great.
All right.
It's been a long time coming chatting with you. We've been working on it for a while, but I'm excited to chat with you about this.
Yeah, indeed. Well, let me paint the picture for everyone. So this happened in Taos Canyon. Taos Canyon is a 21-mile stretch of switchbacks and a very dark canyon between Angel Fire and Taos. If you were to look at Taos, or Angel Fire, we kind of sit, it's kind of like, it's like a big old fishbowl, but made out of mountains. We have a lot of, we have wild turkey, we have bear, mountain lion. I mean, you name it, we have it. Even our wild turkeys, they're as big as like a kitchen trash can. I mean, they're huge. We have elk and mule deer and all kinds of stuff like that running around. But anyways, I've been here for about let's say a year and a half, and like my first week here after coming, I moved up here from Austin, relocated. And the very first week that I was here, we had I call them kids, a couple of my younger cooks or whatnot. They were telling me about a creature that is called the Villanous Gate. And I've never heard of this creature before. But she's like, yeah, Chef. So, I'm out there on my balcony, and I'm, watching the bears go by or whatnot. And I see this black creature staring at me from across the meadows or whatnot. I'm like, what do you mean? We're talking about Dogman, and I'd always been interested in Bigfoot. So she's like, no, it's not Bigfoot. It's definitely not a Dogman. And then one of her current roommate, Lucas, she's like, nah, it's definitely not a Dogman. I mean, I've got Dogman up here where we are. The elevation here is, we advertise it at 8,600 feet. Where Lucas lives, he lives at about 11,000 feet. And so, and the backside of his parents' property or whatnot, you can clearly see Colorado from here. I mean, we're just like a stone throw away. So over there, it's like it's barely any touched soil. I mean, it's like raw and brand new. So he was very certain about his sighting there. But after I was here for about a month, I'm driving away from work, and it's a little windy road. You're kind of cutting through the golf course to get out of here, and I'm seeing something out of the corner of my eye, and and it was tall, and it was black, and it had like an amber looking eyeball, and okay, hold on. Do you know those the traffic signs, with a pedestrian crossing and whatnot?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So if you could imagine that sticker, that pedestrian that's in that sign, if he were to come off of that sign and he just has one dimension. So it's just kind of like a flat man. So there's no girth to him. Okay. Anyway, so I'm driving down the canyon and it's very dark. What we like to do here, what I found out is that usually you want to trail someone to kind of share the light, because you can hit just about anything going through there. So it's already I guess this happened maybe about 2 months ago. So we have all the deer are having little babies running around, and so we're driving through the canyon. I'm just naturally cautious anyways. So we're sharing the light. I'm zipping through, and I'm going faster than I should. I think the speed limit's like 40 miles per hour or whatever. We're both hauling ass, maybe about 50 or 60 going through there. And we pass up a little family of some deers. And so usually, like the females, they all hang out together, and then the bucks all hang out together. And so this one just happened to be a whole bunch of females and their little babies. So we're coming through the canyon, and I'm a little bit closer to him than I should be. And all of a sudden, the gentleman in front of me swerves real quick. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to run up on some deer or whatever. So I'm following his swerve. I might be maybe 2 car lengths behind him. So we're pretty close. Anyway, so we're coming through. He makes the swerve, and then I'm looking to my right just to see if I have can already see the left side. Left side of the canyon, it's when all the snow runs off, there's like a nice little stream and all that type of stuff on that left side. On the right side, it's just woods and stone rocks and trees. Well, after he takes that swerve, I'm and the guys that were doing construction in the canyon, so we have like brand new paint on the road, brand new, for your traffic lanes or whatnot. So he swerves, I follow him, and then as I look up, or as I'm looking out at the road or whatever, I see this black figure with 1 foot on that traffic, the white line or whatnot. And I'm like, what the heck is this? But I'm staring at him. He's sitting there, the guy in front of me, he's slamming on his brakes. I'm slamming on mine. And from his, oh gosh, he looks like, okay, that same stick guy that's on the traffic signal sign or whatever, but shaped like a Nubis. And he's about 12 feet tall easily. His arms went all the way down to what I would say would be his ankles. And the hands, it looked like maybe, I couldn't really say if they're fingers or if they're claws, but it was just like one continuous hand, I guess you could say. One-dimensional, and with that same old amber eye that I saw before. And the guy, we both stopped, because we slammed on the brakes. We both stopped maybe about another 50 yards ahead of this guy. And we're jumping out of the car, and the first thing that we're asking each other, did you just see what I just saw? Did you see that? And it was just a dangerous thing. And it was I know sometimes people give descriptions of like the predator or like or maybe how a Bigfoot can cloak or something like that. But this creature was like, I guess what I described it the very next day as as like black hole black, like the darkest black that you could imagine seeing. You could see the outline, and it was almost as if you could see through the blackness, if that makes any sense. So it was just straight black. You couldn't, I couldn't distinguish between like a chest and a waist or anything like that. It was just one. There was no separation that I could see. The next day, immediately I'm coming through the canyon. And I called my son back in Austin, and I was telling him about it right away. And then the very next day, I'm coming to work. Haley is here. Lucas is here, and Jameson is here. And these kids, they see this creature all the time. But anyways, I'm telling my story because I was just really excited about it to some of the servers here. And before I can even get to the part where I'm describing this creature, Jameson walks through the door and he finishes my description to a T. And then we really started going nuts then, because it was like he was right there with me. So I don't know. I've never heard of the term Villanous Gate. Heard about skinwalkers. Like I say, I'm very curious as about Bigfoot. Matter of fact, there's a Bigfoot sighting in Red River, which is about 30 minutes away from Angel Fire, and I think that was just last year or the year before. So the guys up here he's moving around. But what they tell me about this Villanous Gate is that, because we're in what you call the Enchanted Circle. So it might span for about, let's say, 100 round miles, in this circle, whatever. And what I'm told is that this Villanous Gate, we don't know what it is, and I'm assuming it's male, but the creature just does a loop in this Enchanted Circle. Just walks around doing a loop. And that's really, really all I can tell you about that. Like I say, I wish I could say that the creature had shoes, but there was no shoes. It was just a white stick figure, and I could only see like one side of his face that was revealed to me. Didn't see any teeth. Didn't see any clothing. It was just a black entity. That's all I can tell you.
That's really interesting. Please continue.
Yeah. Hold on. This guy's trying to talk me through the glass. What's that? Okay. If you want to reach out again, like perhaps this time tomorrow, Jameson, he'll be working here, and he'd be happy to share with you as well.
Yeah, I will definitely. I'll definitely consider that. This is wild. I have a few questions for you, as you can imagine.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so, man, where to start? So you are in Texas, correct?
No, I'm in Angel Fire, New Mexico.
All right, thank you for that clarification. Perfect. So Angel Fire, New Mexico, it's an area called the Enchanted Circle, 100 miles round circle. And do you know how far back the sightings of this creature go?
Jameson, he was pretty much born and raised here, and I want to say he's 18 or 19 now. And he's been seeing them since his youth. 4 and 5 years, since he was 4 or 5 years old. So as far as the history of this creature, I couldn't tell you that. I couldn't tell you that.
Sure.
But it's not. It's not like the guy. It's the damnedest thing. He sits around and he walks around a lot. But the kids, they see him all the time. I've seen him 3 times, but the kids, it's like every other day or whatever, they've got a story that they've seen him the night before. Or they're seeing him, they'll catch it in the morning.
Have you ever heard of anyone outside the restaurant having sightings of this creature? Like outside of your group that's in the restaurant?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
So when I moved here, I had a Doberman that happened to have, he had developed cancer. He's about 13, he's going on 14 years old. And, but like in Austin, we would go out for, midnight hikes and stuff like that. And we called it getting spooky. So we was doing that here, and I ran into a gentleman by the name of Joseph, who's a Native American. And he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I've got a machete and a nice little flashlight or whatever. Because it was a couple nights ago we were stalked by a mountain lion or whatnot. So he's asking me what we're doing. I'm like, "Yeah, we're just going outside. We're just going to get spooky around here." And he was like, "Sir, I would highly, highly recommend that you do not do that. That you don't, you try to stay inside your house after 9 o'clock." And I was like, "Why?" He was like, "Well, because not just bear, not just cougar." He said, "There are things out here. There are things out here." And it really took me back or whatever, but it was like, yeah. He's like, there's if you've heard of skinwalkers and that type of stuff, and and whatever you can do, whatever you imagine, they're out here. And it kind of dawned on me because I used to where I work, we close at 9. Just about every store around in Angel Fire closes at 9. And I was like, "What the heck is going on with this?" And then it kind of, when he brought that to my attention, it kind of made sense. It's like, these folks are going home and getting comfortable, where it's safe. And so it kind of made me think that that's why the city or the village of Angel Fire closes at 9 p.m. like clockwork. It's like it's just like it shuts down. And I think the population, just the general population here, might be under 700 people. So when we're not busy during the season, for bicycle season or ski season or whatever, it's pretty much a ghost town. And the wildlife here is very they're very used to humans. We had a good size, probably 500-pound bear that was just in walking in the diner room just the other day. So, but yeah, I had, where I live in Taos, there's a gentleman that goes by the name of E.T., nickname for extraterrestrial or whatnot. And he's got amazing stories about Bigfoot, not Dogman, but Bigfoot. So, it's here is pretty. It's just pretty common. If you mention Bigfoot here, no one's gonna bat an eye or even laugh about it. They take it pretty serious here.
So you've got Bigfoot in the same area, whatever this Villanous Gate creature is.
Yep.
And first off, has anyone ever captured any photos or videos or any evidence of this thing at all yet?
I believe Jameson has. I believe so.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so. But I know we'd also joked about thinking, hey, we just need to go out there and set a trapping and see if we can catch this thing. but I think Jameson does. I think so.
Personally, do you think that you're dealing with a Skinwalker or some kind of Dogman?
I'd say more inclined on the level of a Skinwalker. Not a Dogman for sure.
And I asked that because of the time when you brought up a 12-foot tall Anubis type features, and that's sometimes you hear that thrown around when people talk about Dogman. So that's the main reason why I brought that up. But
yeah, I couldn't. I mean, even with that, it was like there was no. Oh my gosh, I really can't describe. I can't articulate what I saw because I mean, I didn't see. I saw the shape of it, the outline, but as far as features like the muzzle or any kind of teeth or anything like that, nope, just solid black, just solid black, and then the only way that I could make out his hands is because you know how you're walking and you're dragging you're flailing your arms back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, that's the only reason why I can make out that hand, because it just happened to be away from the blackness of the body, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, definitely.
And the fingers it wasn't a closed hand, it was an open hand. And that's how I saw that.
When you saw the creature, and maybe even from what you've heard from your coworkers, are there certain emotions that people will feel associated with seeing the creature, or is it different people react in different ways?
I would say that people do react differently in different ways. I mean, and the kids here, they're so used to seeing the creature that it's just like you and I talking. Like it's just it's just another day.
Wow.
They went from the female in particular. She went from being astonished. She actually moved here from Wisconsin, but she went from being astonished and scared to now just calming. I'm just going to go out there on my porch or whatever and smoke a cigarette, and if he comes by, he comes by. Not a big deal. No. So.
How close is the creature getting to people's houses, do you think?
Probably within, 15 feet or less.
Wow.
Yeah, easily.
This is, man, this is wild. I'm not sure what to think about this, John. You weren't kidding when this is this is a wild one. It feels like, man, I'm sure there's people listening to this there's got to be people listening to this podcast from that area that have also seen this creature. And if they would reach out, bigfootsociety@gmail.com to let me know if have seen this and maybe they know the creature by other names, that would be incredible.
Sure. I mean, I'm sitting here with goosebumps the whole time that we're talking, and it's and again, I wish that I had the right words to articulate what I saw. But it's real, and there's several folks around here that could attest to the story and share their version of it as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just damnedest thing, And when I first saw it, I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's just maybe it's just a big buck or something like that. That's in my peripheral vision or whatnot. Don't worry about it too much. And then it was like a couple nights later, saw the same thing again, except this time I stopped and just marveled at it. And then I was like, shucks, I don't want to stare too much or whatever. So I kept on going. But so that's twice, and then that cannon really made just left me without any kind of question whatsoever.
Mm.
And then for the gentleman that was driving the Forerunner ahead of me, for us both to stop and pretty much say the exact same thing. Did you see what I just saw? Did you see it? Did you see it? And so, yeah. But by the time we, turn around, look back in that direction or whatever, I mean, the creature was gone. And so I don't know if it went back into the woods from the right side where it was, or did it go on the left side to where the little stream and the little river is over there? I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you that.
Is the gentleman that also saw the creature that one time, is that someone you still keep in touch with, or is it just happened and then you've never seen the gentleman again?
No, it was just a random coincidence. Yeah, it was just random. Yeah, and I don't I mean, I'm trying to think. No, it's just random. And I don't and I'm trying to think if I even see the gentleman's vehicle in the Angel Fire. But I really don't recall that either. It was one of those, you can't miss it. It was that, that hot, super hot orange that they got on those Forerunners nowadays.
Sure.
So, yeah. So it's, I've definitely noticed if he was here. But yeah, that's where we're at.
Have you ever talked to the owner of the restaurant to see if the owner has had any sightings of the creature?
The owner lives in Dallas, and
sure.
Yeah, and but whenever he comes down or whatever, I mean, I'll joke about Bigfoot or whatever, but he doesn't say anything one thing or another. He just laugh right along with me. But what I was going to say, but the Angel Fire, from what I was told, was built on an Indian burial ground. So that could be something that could have something to do with it. I mean, I know I've seen a young woman, probably maybe 5'2", and I'll be hot dog if she wasn't gonna just turn into a werewolf right in front of my eyes in the middle of a bar, and that's a totally another story in itself. So again, this is the Enchanted Circle, and there's a saying here too that the Enchanted Circle will either accept you or it'll spit you out. And I mean, I've invited employees or friends from Austin, Texas, to come up here and work, and some of them haven't even made it a week before this Enchanted Circle kicks them out because it just doesn't accept them. So, as far as the spiritual nature, I'd be really inclined to believe that that creature is something spiritual, is a spiritual entity, is what I would think it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've got the Villanous Gate, you've got people almost turning into wolves.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of mentioned Dogman a little bit earlier. Do you have Dogman stuff going on in that area too?
Yeah. Lucas, he has Dogman sightings up there. And again, but he's on a higher elevation too. And it's like if you picture Angel Fire as like a fishbowl, he's on the backside of that fishbowl. So he's got, I mean, like again, you can see from here, from Colorado, from here, and there's just nothing but nature. Yeah, nothing. But as far as the eye can see, just wilderness. And then I think we had some fires last year, and a lot of the areas that got all burned up or whatnot, a lot of the animals are starting to migrate this way. And so I'm wondering if that has something to do with it too. I mean, because like even the frequency of just bears alone is like really exploded just lately. And then for us, it's elk season. So, I don't know, if there's just more of an abundant food source for them now. The creature that I saw, I don't know if it's eaten anything, but I can imagine a good Bigfoot and a Dogman would live out here very well.
Absolutely. And that's something else that has come up in passing a few times in this interview is it sounds like there's some pretty solid Bigfoot activity in that area of the Enchanted Circle as well.
Yeah, I think so. And again, it's not if you're in the city of the buildings of Taos and you mention anything about aliens or UFO or whatever, again, no one will bat an eye. They're like, yep, just saw one just the other day. Sure did. If you mention Bigfoot, yeah, they'll have a conversation with you all about it. Yeah, it's I've never ran into someone or mentioned it or heard the topic come up to where anyone was ridiculed here. It's like,
wow.
No, it's yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah, it's
Do you remember any particular Bigfoot stories that you've heard from that area that you found interesting, or?
Well, the the one that sticks to my mind was like the most, I guess, if I've been here a year and a half, so maybe a little under 2 years ago, I think that's where that sighting was in Red River. And so Red River, okay, so the Enchanted Circle, that's Angel Fire, Red River, Cuesta, and Taos. That makes up that ring. From Taos, and there's so in Taos there's an Indian Pueblo, but on the backside of that Pueblo, there's like Wheeler Peak and some other very tall mountains back there. But white man can't go on it because it's on the Pueblo, belongs to the tribe. But on that backside over there, you can take a trail from Taos to Red River, and just have you can bike it, walk it, whatever you want to do. But that's where the Bigfoot is has been seen on that backside. And I think when he was, from what the report said, when he was in Red River, I think he was just pretty much just being a nuisance, really. Just rummaging around or whatnot. So it could have been a younger one, maybe a juvenile or something. But that's about it on that. As far as when Lucas would mention the Dogman that he believes he's encountering at his home or whatnot, he just describes the animal as just scratching on his walls and and scratching on the windows, that type of thing. But again, more like a nuisance. You know, it's like, man, this stuff is like, it's really starting to piss me off. You know, I can't sleep. You know, doing all this stuff at 2:00 in the morning, trying to go to bed. But, so that's all I know about that. I don't.
It's probably cool at first, but then it gets pretty annoying, I would guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, but yeah, it's I mean, it's different. It's special here. It's a unique place, I would say. And
it really sounds like it. Can you go into detail or anything at all about? You mentioned there's some UFOs and alien activity in the Enchanted Circle as well.
Oh yeah, the guy. Okay, so where I live, E.T. He does construction at that property. First night, and I have like a little green little alien man outside of my front door. And shucks, the first day that I met him, he's like, "Hey, my name's E.T." I was like, "Okay, that's cool." It's like, "Yeah, it's short for extraterrestrial because you know, I've been abducted before." I was like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah." And because I also have a pit bull, and the dog was out there. He was kind of skittish behind it, and it was like, "Yeah." So that's why I'm a little jumpy, because I've been abducted before, and you know, I've also been, you know, attacked by pit bulls or whatever. And you're just triggering those memories for me. But yeah, so it's called the Taos Retirement Village. There's 12 units that are assisted living, and then the other units are just for anybody else. But there are the elderly. I mean, they talk about them all the time, and we have like a little clearing because where Angel Fire is real mountainous. Over there in Taos, we're at the edge of the Rocky Mountains, but there's vast mesas out there. So I mean, you can see different galaxies from out there, and there's very little light to interfere with that type of thing. But yeah, they're shooting over there all the time. I mean, just going back and forth. And I think New Mexico is one of those sleeper states. You know, we hear about the Area 51 and we hear about the mountains up there in Colorado, but I think New Mexico, in my opinion, is one of those sleeper states that stays under the radar of national news, to where a lot of this, where the UFOs and the aliens, you know, can develop and thrive here without much attention being drawn to it. Yeah, you can. Golly, it's like I say, it's nothing mysterious. Nothing mysterious. It's like it's common culture.
And the thing that gets me is that you're saying that in these 3 towns that are in this Enchanted Circle, like everyone is like, "Yep, it's cool. It happens. I've seen it. My mom's seen it. My kid has seen it." And it's like not a big deal.
Not a big deal at all. Not a big deal at all. Not a big deal at all. You know, if you drive going through town or whatever, you'll find you know, one of the hottest selling products out here is that the traffic sign with the cow being transported by UFO. You know, it's locked in its little tractor beams, whatever. I mean, that's everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. It's people make no bones about it. No bones about it at all.
John, do you find that a little weird, or is it just you're used to it now? Everyone in their front yard has these like cows getting abducted signs, you're saying? They're all over the place?
I mean, it's very common. It's very common. Yeah. Wow. It's what was your question again?
No, that's I just wanted your quick opinion on that. If you had to, you know, thinking about the Enchanted Circle in general, if you had to pin it down to one reason why all this stuff is going on inside the circle, what would you say?
I'd say because of the spiritual nature behind our Native Americans. That's what I would say. We've got
Sure.
There is I want to say there's 14 or 17 pueblos just in New Mexico alone, and everything is really it's really, really, really admired and sacred, if that makes any sense. There's a lot of, so yeah, I'd say more than anything, I'd say this the spirituality of our Native Americans, I would say.
It's absolutely fascinating. I can't believe I've never heard of this area before. That's just wild. Listeners, if you know stuff about the Enchanted Circle, please reach out. It blows my mind. Man. Yeah,
if you ever make it down this way or care to or whatever, I mean, we've got some nice hotels. I can put you up in a hotel, or you're welcome to hang out in Taos or whatnot. And so like I say, pick some folks' brain. It's not it's not hard to do. It's not hard to do.
I can probably imagine a few listeners are like, hey, that place sounds pretty cool, because it sounds like everything's there in this 100-mile circle. Is it a good idea for people to visit that area, or is it kind of like they don't really like visitors coming in and people just do their things?
It's a good place to visit. I mean, we treat ourselves, or we model ourselves as a family resort. So no, you want to come and visit and see the sights and whatnot. Just nature's everywhere, and it's like there's so much like granite in the rocks and turquoise and onyx, and I mean, it really seems like the land is alive, if that makes any sense. Like it's just alive. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. A really left field question. Have you ever had any interactions with Bigfoot or heard anything from other states besides where you're at now?
Oh, Oklahoma.
Okay. I didn't want to like out that state because of what we said, but I was kind of leading you into it.
Yeah. Oklahoma for sure.
Okay. Anything you can share from that?
I mean, I have not seen one in Oklahoma, but we had I grew up in Moore, Oklahoma, and at the time, my graduating class I think we had over 1,200 kids. So we had there was like 5 lakes around. Our favorite lake was Draper Lake. So we'd go out there, hang out, and do what kids do or whatever. But the guy, a buddy of mine, his dad owned some horse riding stables out there and whatnot. And his name was Wade, and he was always coming to us with stories about a Bigfoot down there that's always messing around with the horses, moving stuff around. So I'll put the saddle over here, and then when I come back, saddle's over there. And but he was also Native American, and his father used to talk about him, talk to us about him all the time. So, and this was this would be between Oklahoma City and Norman, kind of like right down in the middle.
Okay, gotcha.
My mom used to go to the Arbuckle Wilderness, and she swore up and down, like in, I want to say, 86 is when I graduated high school. maybe about 1983. She used to go a lot, and she could have swore she saw one over there. But me, myself, I have not.
Gotcha. I wouldn't be surprised. I've heard things around the Arbuckle Wilderness a few times, so that wouldn't be surprising to me at all. I mean, that state is such a weird state. And southeast Oklahoma, of course, is just incredibly intense.
Yeah.
But
I think, oh gosh. Yeah, I'm trying to think where else. I know we used to hear about them in Paul's Valley as well. And then I'm trying to think there was also someplace north, like maybe Ada, Oklahoma.
Oh, I hear about Ada. That is a big area. Yeah, absolutely. Ada.
Yeah. And then, but I probably think, I'm always scanning the forest looking for them, but it's almost like here in Angel Fire, if there was one in front of you, you might not even be able to see it. So there's the woods get, I don't know, not so much super thick, but they are kind of dense. And
Interesting. Yeah.
I could really believe that like now, instead of scanning eye level, I try to scan 12 feet and up or something like that. See if I can see anything. But
I think if I lived there, I would definitely have a camera on my car, a dash cam for sure. It sounds like you're bound to run across something if you're just driving around. So
yeah,
maybe get one of those.
I ride my mountain bike a lot. I usually have my GoPro mounted to it whenever I'm out or whatnot.
Ah.
So so I try. Not as consistent as I like to be or whatnot, but chances are, like you just said, if you hang out here long enough, you're gonna run into something.
Oh, absolutely. It sounds like it's definitely going to happen. John, thank you so much for reaching out to me and for chatting about all the stuff that you guys got going on in the Enchanted Circle. It's incredible. And I really appreciate you sharing some stuff. If you could hang out for a few seconds afterwards, but thank you so much for coming on, man.
All right. You're absolutely welcome, Jeremiah. I'll talk to you soon.